Part 4. You will hear a lecture about the development of the tunnel linking France and England. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
The strip of sea separating France and England, which in English is simply called the Channel, is only 34 kilometres across at the shortest point. But in the days of sailing ships, the strong currents and fierce storms made it difficult to cross. In favourable conditions, the voyage took 6 or 7 hours, but it could equally well take days or even a week. In 1750, a competition was launched in the city of Amiens in northern France for a scheme that would improve trade links between the two nations. The committee awarded the prize to an engineer who proposed a tunnel, though the technology and manpower that it required were simply not available at the time. Half a century later, the idea resurfaced. In 1802, during a break in hostilities in the war between France and England, a French mining engineer put forward another scheme for a tunnel. The scheme was supported by the peace party among English politicians, but the resumption of war dashed their hopes. By 1850, Europe was much more industrialized. In 1867, a French hydrographic engineer presented his government with a proposal for a tunnel to carry trains. As regards the engineering, this was quite feasible. Tunnels through the Alps were under construction, and the Suez Canal was nearing completion. A committee was set up in the following year to explore the possibility, and in 1880 they started excavating to build tunnels from both coasts. But British public opinion turned against the idea, and in 1882 the government put a stop to the digging. The notion of a fixed link didn't go away, however, and in the 1920s the idea was put forward in Britain of a tunnel with its entrance half a kilometre out to sea, linked to the coast by a bridge. But in the economic climate of the 1930s, neither country could afford the vast undertaking of any sort of tunnel. During the 1950s, the idea was again considered seriously. But it was not until 1985 that it was finally agreed, and the two governments staged a competition for the best proposal. The committee came down in favour of the tunnel for trains and shuttles only. The reasons that were given largely centred on the finances, which were considered to be the soundest put forward. It was also thought that, compared with the alternative options, the technical risks of the tunnel were considerably reduced, not least because as a pure engineering exercise, it called for little in the way of innovative technology. In fact, solving logistical, environmental and other problems created more headaches than the engineering. The tunnel was regarded as the safest way for people to get across the channel, and unlike a bridge, it wouldn't impede shipping. Excavation of 3 tunnels started in 1987 from both sides at once, and the first one to form a continuous link between the two countries reached its breakthrough point in December 1990, just to the French side of the international border. The tunnel was eventually opened to traffic in 1994. The system consists of 3 tunnels. The 2 outer tunnels, which carry the shuttles and trains, are known as running tunnels. They're each separated by 8 metres of rock from the smaller service tunnel, which goes along the middle between them and is used for maintenance. Every 375 metres, the 3 tunnels are linked by cross passages, which provide ventilation and easy access for maintenance. Once the high-speed train link between the English coast and London is...
That is the end of Part 4. You now have 45 seconds to check your answers to Part 4.